Now for what's going to impact you and me, Matt. I don't know.
Theoretically, I don't know how much time I'll even have before the end of season 4 of this with video games. Brutal.
There's a lot of video to play, but yeah. So lower Kara difficulty has been definitely looked at, let's say, and basically said, look, lower Karazhan continues to stand out as an outlier in difficulty. When Blizzard says that, they're not saying that in a really this is our opinion way, or they're saying this in a
data says.
Yeah, like from a data-driven approach, the completion percentage is lower here. So several ushers are taking a break from protecting the Opera Hall. There's one. Just have a bunch of, generally speaking, a bunch of nerfs there.
So big.
We've got Wicket, just 30 to 40% nerfs. We've got for Westfall Story.
That's the one that really ruined us last week. It was the Point and Shank was pretty rough, but it was the explosives after the Gang Ruffians and Tidespeakers were down, which meant we had a bunch of invincible mobs spawning explosives all day. You're like, 3 explosives at the other side of where we're fighting is not very good for our DPS, who were definitely very on the ball with dealing with explosives consistently.
happy. So
you see, whenever you go into a dungeon, I'd highly recommend doing the mechanics, because DPS, your job's not just a DPS. And yes, I am tilted.
Garrote, 15% nerf, and now correctly displays iteration. Maiden of Virtue, I didn't really think, maybe this is a hierarchy issue.
At hierarchies, well, this is the thing that's different about Mythic Plus design now, right? So you notice specifically there an absorb, which will just wipe you, right?
Yeah.
If you don't bust that absorb, it's a wipe. With Sacred Ground, you're forced to take that damage. And that's the same thing with Intangible Presence. Whenever you're designing Mythic Plus, and they know this now, you have to be super, super careful with unavoidable damage. Because if you have any unavoidable damage, then at a certain key level, that means the key is undoable. That's basically that, because it will scale, especially on Tyrannical, was like, you take that Sacred Ground out, and there is nothing you can do about that. Obviously, ideally, you take it perfectly before the Mass Repentance pops, so you're only standing in there for like 1 stack and 1 tick, and then you go out, but you still have the dot, which means there's a point where the healer will not be able to out-heal it. And that's technically true of all sorts of incoming damage, but for bosses, they outscale specifically with Tyrannical stuff, so you run into a problem of, I literally can't do that. But like, with say mob packs, you can always like CC one, or take them super small at a time, or like kite. But for bosses, unavoidable damage will just kill you to point. So it's like, that's why those are nerfed, even though they feel like nothing. Because someone will be doing, that's the thing, right? What was it? The difference at one point was a 32 in one dungeon and a 27 in the other, in Lower Kara. And it's stuff like that on Tyrannical is going to be the problem, where it's like, no, wait, that's unavoidable damage. You just brick the key. And that's a problem I have to kind of deal with, which is, it's weird, because it feels like they're fairly limited in what they can do with that, because otherwise it feels too easy until you get to that point. But that's a problem with infinite scaling difficulty you're going to get. Yeah. It's like,
comes the territory.
Yeah. Is this going to be super easy on a 15 because people want to do it in 40? Maybe.
Yeah, and now, certainly makes my life easier. Yeah. Intangible Presence has been deleted from the game, and we've kind of already talked about that one. For Upper Karazhan, yes, this one's fun. They resolved an issue where the chest pieces would regen health while in combat. Yeah. Now, on Fortified Weeks, high keys, it just led to, okay, cool.
Yeah, chess is
have all the health in the world now.
Chess is just slightly too slow to be fun for me.
Yeah. Otherwise it's neat. I think Upper Kara is just top tier, super fun. Another funny thing.
No. Do you forget the 2 corridors? The 2 upside down corridors?
Yeah, they're fine.
Fuck you, they're awful. Nightmare tier stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What's they stand in these green orbs while green fire's dropping on top of the green orbs. Now you can't soak the green orbs. Also, here's mobs that are in combat with you that you can't hit because they're flying away. And then all of combat's is kind of bugged. Also, oh, look, you fell. Oh, look, they're evading mobs or teleporting down to you. You're like, what is happening? It's a clusterfuck. It's cool, but it's a clusterfuck.
I look at the UI while I enjoy sights and sounds.
Oh yeah, you're playing a healer now, so you're just like, you live in the UI. That's the one thing I don't like about healing. It's like, you're just a little bit like, I like healing overall, but it's still like, you play the UI, not the game. Yeah. That's why I love tanking so much, because you're playing the game specifically, which is a weird distinction, but it's a real one.
So a funny thing,
Oh no.
Legion Mythic Plus didn't go away. Tashup is there. You can pick up the quest from him to get another, I suppose if you just knock out a +2, very quick 450 Valor. So, there you go. There's a few trinkets and rings. I guess, no, yeah, there's just a few trinkets and rings from this that you can go get that are strong.
Get your
maybe even
Warden's
this.
drinks.
Yeah, so... Who knows? Blizzard have provided no comment. It just didn't go away. So, we got that.